That's not
I
gonna cut
can't
it.
do it yet.
That's not gonna
Well, then
cut
help
it.
me out, teammate. You ready? There we go.
Live from New York. It's the show that spent 3 hours
This guy.
researching one topic. It's first
He's
things
never
first.
been more
I'm ready.
invested in a tape.
I love that guy.
I love it.
Right.
All right, Brew, how impressive was the dunk?
It was awesome. There's no doubt about it. I agree with him that it was his best dunk ever. On a scale of 1 to 10, I'm going to give it a 9.
Oh, a 9?
I've seen better dunks.
I mean, yeah, but
really,
still a 10.
Vince Carter's dunks were better. Some of his dunks. I think Blake Griffin had a couple that were better.
Oh, I don't know.
Blake Griffin was. I'll show you Blake's.
Blake, the one that he threw in,
Well,
was most
Blake
famous.
used to do that constantly. He did it on Timothy Mozgov. Here's this one. Throw it in. Like now that one I don't think was better.
Correct. Okay.
I got Anthony in between this one,
That
so
one is
better
actually
than
better.
this one.
That's better.
Better than this one, but not quite as good as Blake's on Kendrick Perkins. Look, I mean, that's just ferocious.
It's
And
also better
we're
'cause it's on
simply
Kendrick.
talking what looks better. All right? And I actually think Ja, which I don't know if you like this one or not. This is when I got Ja as my guy. Ja's in the playoffs against the Timberwolves.
Yeah.
I think that was better just because he
solid.
reared back and it was like a tomahawk.
Can I ask?
But this was awesome.
For this conversation,
Yeah.
because I just want us all to be having the same conversation. I think it has to be regular season, postseason agnostic.
No.
Okay, well, I'm going to ask Brew because
That's
you're
fine.
about to list 30 dunks that
I'm
you
not
think
gonna-
are better.
I mean, I have them ready.
And so, I mean, this is Wildes
It
has
was
never had this many sheets.
I will say this to you, Wildes. I think Anthony Edwards is like a combination of Michael Jordan and Dominique Wilkins. That's high praise when he dunks.
Yeah.
He doesn't have all the grace of Jordan, but it's close. And he's got the power of Dominique. And every time he jumps for a dunk, it looks like, where's the trampoline?
Yes.
I mean, it literally looks, he's so explosive to the rim that it looks like he's jumping off a trampoline.
Here's how explosive and athletic he is. He is in the last 10 days, had the block of the year and the dunk of the year, and on both of them, he hurt himself.
Right.
The block of the year, he hit his head. The dunk of the year, he dislocated his finger.
Right.
So I'm going to say something that I think people might reflexively react negatively to, but before I even say it, I'm going to ask Brew's
be
back up
horrible.
on something. Okay? Brew, despite the fact that I think LeBron's the GOAT,
Right.
do you agree that I, maybe more so than almost anyone in the media, other than maybe yourself and a few others, give respect to every era of basketball?
Yeah,
And that I respect the history of it. So this is not about.
You don't think LeBron's better than Jordan because of the era?
No, I just think he's better.
Right.
Okay. And I have massive respect for guys, ABA era, all of it. I look at dunking the way I look at track and field and swimming. It is just logical and obvious that the best, a disproportionate amount of the best are going to be right now. Not basketball players as a whole, but dunking, because it's about athleticism, explosiveness, vertical leap. Now, is there the occasional Dr. J as Florence Griffith Joyner or Edwin Moses? Sure, someone that was way ahead of their time. Yes, and because of that, I watch that Anthony Edwards dunk and I say, that might be better than any in-game dunk Jordan ever had.
No, it's not.
Okay, but what's the Jordan dunk that comes to mind? Because if you tell me
it's
that
not Oakley. I mean, I agree. It's
right,
not you
or
and
that,
Oakley.
right, not
but
that
there
one.
were several dunks he did that were similar to this.
Similar
and better. And
Similar.
I think
Wildes, you've got a great list here.
This one's great.
But do you
I understand the concept. I have a different concept. Tell me if you buy it.
Okay, yeah.
Because I do not view it as gymnastics with a basketball like you do, where it's like, okay, things are advancing.
Simone Biles is just better, natural, like
Than Mary Lou Retton.
Than Mary Lou Retton,
Probably.
yes.
But that's not how I view it. This is how I break down the pie chart.
This is the wildest amount
So
of
you
research I've
got a
ever
list
seen.
of dunks?
No, I didn't get the pie chart because I just came up with it.
Okay, go ahead.
But I have a list of dunks.
You
but we'll
yell
be
at
here
me
for
when
a
I
while.
do this, yeah.
The stakes of the dunk.
Well,
15%.
Well, that's where you said let's stay in the regular
Yeah.
season.
But I just put
Okay,
I put it
that's
at
fine.
15%.
yeah, sure.
The saltiness of the dunk. Again, 15%.
The anger.
Yeah, so
Well,
obviously.
this one, the guy he dunked on, and this is going to be legendary. This is going to be talked about for years. Got tested for a concussion.
I actually think bad news.
All right?
I actually think it was too much injury. It's
No,
better to
but
go
that's
like
good. That's
blister
the
style.
violence. That's the, what'd you say?
No, saltiness, not
That's the
violence.
Sean
saltiness.
Kemp.
And he didn't have a concussion. He just had a head contusion.
Yeah.
I don't know
Which
if there's
is
a
great.
true difference. to
Okay,
be
go
honest
ahead.
That's
with you.
great.
Storytelling, 40%.
Oh, well, that's
That's what it is.
what he.
That John Starks' dunk is not a great physical dunk, but it is because of the storytelling and the stakes. It defines John Starks' career
Yes.
and defines kind
But
of
this
Jordan's
was a
struggle.
better dunk. That was a
I know,
better
but that's-
moment.
And here's the other part.
Yeah,
30%.
that's a good- I like that.
Yeah.
Standing in the way. So John Collins, solid defensive player.
Yeah.
But in order to have like an all-time great dunk, you need to go up against
Kevin
an
Johnson
all-time
over
great.
Elijah
See, here we
Wan.
go. See, he knows this stuff. He's a true student of.
But
the
he,
game.
but
He's
I'm
a
gonna give you
student
a lot of
Don't
this.
you dare.
Wiles, I'm gonna give you a lot of this.
Go ahead.
Let's just boil it down to how it looked.
Yes.
I mean, seriously, I
It
just
looked
think
nice.
the Blake's over Kendrick looked slightly better.
So I don't because
and I think Jaws looked better.
I don't because I also think Anthony Edwards being on the smaller size helps how amazing his
How it
dunks
can
look,
look.
Yeah.
which I felt similar about Ja. I also think I think the greatest dunk of all time, the greatest dunk of all time,
Go.
is Vince Carter over Frederick Weiss.
That's correct. I have that as
right,
an
but then
undeniable icon.
how does that fill out your
Right.
silly pie chart?
Well, sure,
The
I'm
stakes
glad-
were
a
meaningless.
blowout
A
in
blowout
the
in the
Stakes were
Olympics.
the Olympics.
But it was a.
No, stop.
That's
The
when
stakes were the Olympics.
Actually, we almost lost that year, didn't we? To
No,
Lithuania?
no, because we
Not
lost the
that
previous
game.
4
Yeah.
years, and this was a sign of America's greatness returning. So let's say the stakes were pretty high. Standing in the way is Frederick Weiss, a 7-footer.
Yes.
So that matters.
Yeah.
The storytelling was like Vince becoming
Jumping
an
over
icon.
a 7-footer.
Okay.
And the saltiness of it was kind of like, I can't believe I just did it, and the great reaction. It was 10 of 10 on everything, on a score of 100.
Vince is the greatest dunker.
Hold on, are you going to
game
get? So wait,
dunker ever.
you have all of
I have
these
all
things.
these. All right, I will read dunks. I'll be
You
honest
have
with you.
video?
Well,
Can we see the dunks?
you can see them in your mind's eye.
Okay, this
Imagination is the most powerful thing you have.
You're such a
More
dope.
powerful than any weapon on earth.
Okay.
Your imagination.
Go
It
quickly.
is true.
Number one. Tell me when you
This
you
is the
hear
best
a
dunk
dunk.
ever?
When we hear a dunk
when
that
you
this
hear
is
a
better.
dunk that this is better, then
All
I'll
right,
stop.
All right, good. Go.
Again, it's great for the
All
pod.
right, go.
Rock the Baby, Dr. J and Michael Cooper.
No.
Kemp on Alton Lister.
No.
Vince on Frederick
Kemp on
Weiss.
Alton Lister, yes.
No. Hold on.
Kemp
Stop
on
it.
Alton Lister was
That's
crazy.
an iconic
No,
dunk.
you guys are
Or was that
misunderstanding.
list-
Stop.
yeah, list-
You guys are misunderstanding. Everyone he's listing, when I say no, I'm saying this isn't better than. So, so
okay.
we
Okay.
agree.
We agree.
Keep going.
Okay.
Yeah.
My goodness
Yeah.
gracious.
Sorry.
Okay.
LeBron jumps over Jason Terry.
Well, that's
It's great.
okay. Sure.
LeBron jumps over Damon Jones.
Sure.
Shaq dunks on Chris Dudley and then throws the ball out.
No, this is better than
No,
that.
it's not.
No.
It's an all-time great dunk. Now
That
we're-
was the
Paul
only
Lefko.
thing good
Paul
about the
Lefko.
Dudley
Now
thing.
we're
People
on
are
the
going to
podcast.
talk about this
The
dunk
only thing good
like
about
that.
the Dudley thing
This
was
dunk
him
was
throwing
fake.
the ball at
Shaq's
him.
best dunk ever.
He
backs him down, dunks on him,
Shaq
pushes
is a
him
magic
down.
had,
Oh, my
Shaq's dunks were the
We need the video.
the backboard came down. We
don't
do
need-
need the video. Also, America.
You
One
did
of the
all
reasons.
that prepping and forgot
Yeah.
about the video?
I didn't forget about it. I'm doing a podcast-centric thing. I told you guys where to
One of the
go.
reasons, and then we can move on,
Gosh
that
darn
we
it.
did this segment was because Wild's also best take he didn't even get to because you are so afraid of people yelling at you. Do it.
Helps if it was a dunk.
He doesn't think
This
this was
wasn't a dunk.
What's a dunk?
A dunk is when you are so high that you throw it down into the rim, whether your hand grabs the rim or not.
What's a finger roll?
I think this is more impressive than just a dunk. You got to be up high. And you know what? Here's the proof. There is something that we have called the NBA Slam Dunk Contest.
Yeah.
If you go to the Slam Dunk Contest and do a really fancy, nice layup, Are they going to give points on it?
they
Are
call
they
that
going to
Howard
cheer?
did
They call that the
Let me
jumping
see
throw it
it.
in.
I got it.
They
the
call
White
that the
Howard.
Darryl Armstrong.
Let's see the Superman.
Yeah.
He didn't come close to the rim.
No one liked
but
that.
But I loved
No
it.
one liked
I
that.
loved it. I was there.
You know
I was
what this
yelling.
is?
It got me out of
That's
my
a
seat.
jump shot.
You got to get up so high to do that. That is a dunk.
10 feet, 8 inches.
That if he goes and lays it up,
That's a
they're
layup.
not giving points on that. That's the
no
proof,
one likes that,
Wildes.
bro.
I
No
loved
one
it.
likes that.
The cape is flying. It got
What's
a
the cape
50
got
on
to
it
do with
probably.
it?
Well, the cape has as much to do with this throwing the basketball at
Right.
somebody.
Vince on Alonzo morning.
What?
Kobe
That
on
was
Dwight.
nasty.
Jordan on Mutombo.
I got to tell you, you have never had more support from our support staff than you rolling off these dunks. People are like, amen, Wildes, get them.
Thank you, Chris.
Look, Anthony Edwards, mark my words, will have better dunks than that one in his career.
So is he going to have 2 of the top 25 dunks all time?
Maybe.
He's
think
going to have better dunks than that, at least one.
We haven't.
In his career, he's young. He's just getting started. He's a babe.
High-flying highlight is the latest moment in Ant's meteoric rise. Some have said he's the face of the league, or is going
Soon
to
to
be. Some have said Kevin Garnett and Pat Bev, they were early on this, starting to look Jordan-esque. A little comparison.
Okay.
Are you buying the MJ comparisons?
Well, look, there's 2 comparisons to Michael Jordan. There's one in he could one day be as good as Michael Jordan or better, and that's where LeBron always got compared to Jordan.
That's gonna
Not
be hard.
because stylistically they played like that. Then there's the other one of the game is similar. And he's not as great as Anthony Edwards is, and I think he can be I think he can be
the best player in the league.
American player, maybe the face of the league, at least American players. He's not going to ever be in the GOAT conversation.
Of course.
As great as he will be, he's not going to be in the GOAT conversation. But stylistically, well, I reached out to the GOAT today. Michael Jordan. And
What a good name
Jordan
drop.
said there are similarities in their games. He agreed.
Wow.
So Jordan said there's similarities, all right? And what I like, in addition to the athleticism and the explosive dunks, all right, his desire to play is like MJ's. This is not today, but in the past, I talked to Michael Jordan about the concept of shortening the season to from 82 games. It sickened him. He couldn't understand why in the world wouldn't players want 82 games. Anthony Edwards is like, I don't want to load manage. I want to play. And this dunk
That's
is
true.
proof of it. He dislocates his finger, goes to the locker room, gets it popped back into place, taped up, and then comes back out in place. How many players today would have been like,
I mean, let's.
hey, I'm good.
Okay.
I'm good.
Ronnie,
I'm not. I get it. But there are guys sitting out just because they want to sit out.
He also
And
took
he's
off
playing
the
through it.
All-Star game, had the worst quote about the All-Star
Well,
game I've ever
that's
heard
true.
in my life.
But he also, how about his defense? He plays defense
Yes,
too.
that's
So
true.
those are similar to Jordan
so-
too. So I like the comparison as far as the style of play.
Before I give the answer, quick sidebar. With the fact that my television partner, Chris Broussard, is chatting with Michael Jordan, and my fake television rival, J.J. Redick, is doing a pod with LeBron James, if I don't get Kareem Abdul-Jabbar on the phone soon, I'm in bad shape. I am getting boxed in right now by my fellow TV compatriots. All right, so I did not speak to Michael Jordan.
Yeah.
So instead I just said, let's just do a fair, because I agree with a lot of what Bruce said. Obviously, he's not going to, Anthony Edwards is not, we don't look at him and say one day is he going to be the greatest player ever. But other than Bobby Knight, I don't know that a year into Jordan's career, 2 years in when he broke his foot, people were like, he's going to be the greatest player ever. Anthony Edwards has had 3 complete seasons. All right? So we can just stack up how he looked compared to how Jordan looked. Guys, it's not fair. I know Wildes is a win-loss guy, but it's not fair to can we put some actual stats on there? Okay, there. Oh.
3-point percentage.
Listen, I don't know what they
How
were
many
going to put up
text
there.
messages did
I
he
didn't.
send? Give me a break.
What do you? Oh, he didn't. Why? Oh, did the line not exist?
How good was he at
He
Fortnite?
probably had a
It
better
doesn't-
three-point percentage than Larry
9.4.
Bird in his first. Was he a better shooter than Larry Bird?
Again,
Stop
I'm
it.
not.
1986.
Stop it.
Again, I'm not.
3-point
What do you mean? I just showed you some numbers. I noticed you guys jumped to that. You didn't jump to the under 500 every year
Goodness
or
gracious.
one playoff game. All I'm saying is Anthony Edwards on a good pace. Now in year 4 for
On
Jordan.
a good pace for what?
Well, who knows?
To
We'll
catch
see.
Michael Jordan?
I'm not sure. Text Mike and see what he thinks of that full screen. I'm just
He ain't
saying.
gonna like it.
Quickly, Brew, just The Wolves are 47-21. They have the same
dunk was-
record as Denver. They're the best team on the road. They have the best defense, and they're 4-2 without Cat, and Anthony Edwards seems to have extended. But it feels like the narrative of this table and elsewhere is like, yeah, I could see him going out in round 1.
Yeah.
Well, look, the West there's Denver, and everybody else is going to be in the postseason. That's really what it is. So I get that. You get the wrong match. OKC could go out in the first round. I mean, really. And they're right there at the #1 seed, too. I will say this about Minnesota, assuming they're at full health. They have the size that theoretically could bother Denver and Nikola Jokic.
And they played them last year in the playoffs.
Right, they play them fairly tough because you can put Cat or Rudy or Cat on them, and then the other one can come in and help from the weak side.
Sure.
Now, obviously, you're giving up some threes maybe, but I mean, they got the size, and then you got a difference maker like Anthony Edwards. I wouldn't pick them, but could they make it interesting? Sure.
I know we have to move on just quickly. I do wonder if Anthony Edwards continues this, and if without Cat they stay, as the 1 seeder in that vicinity, if he could knock Tatum off some MVP ballots.
Oh.
I do wonder that. You know what I mean?
We talked about that a week or two ago.
Right, that if they are the 1 seed and he has all these moments, his numbers are great, and right now, it's not like Tatum's playing poorly, but the last month, Jaylen Brown has probably been the best player on the Celtics, and so
moments are
it's going to be hard because they're so
gonna win
far out in front of everybody
games.
else, and he's their best player. But
I wonder if Edwards get on some ballots.
Great.
Like if they're the 1 seed, he's the best player.
I think he could.
Let's talk about LeBron. Lakers over Hawks last night, 136-105. LeBron goes 25-7-10. Lake Show in 9th place, 3 games and 2 teams behind Sacramento if they want to escape the play-in. Here's LeBron since All-Star. Top 5 in scoring, top 5 in assists, 7 rebounds, shooting almost 59% and 45% from 3.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
He's the best shooter on the podcast, which is shocking. Can he
Wait till the playoffs roll around.
Can he keep this up?
So that's their only hope, is that not necessarily 45% from 3, and we'll show it in a second. He's 40% for the year.
Right.
And so LeBron has been fully healthy 1 playoff run with the Lakers. They won the title. Because the next year was the year Solomon Hill did his trapeze act into his ankle. The next year after that, they missed the playoffs. And last year, he was, talking about, I might need my foot operated on. He had not Liz Frank, I forget what it's called, but whatever, he had the foot.
Plantar fasciitis.
Thank you, plantar fascia. Good job, Wildes. And so I think the best LeBron year ever is 2013. I think the best playoff run is 2018 with the Cavs. So the best year, that's the year they won 27 games. He almost won Defensive Player of the Year, 27 games in a row, almost won Defensive Player of the Year. And famously he came in second for it. That's the highest he ever finished in it. Right. And he was, the reason a lot of people think it was his best year was his efficiencies. So I just put that 2013 year next to this year and look at the efficiencies. So that year he shot 60% from 2. This year it's 58.5%. The 3-point percentages are identical. The points a tiny bit down, the assists a tiny bit up, and the minutes down. And so and again, because he is not nearly the defender, I'm not arguing any of that. And if people say the games,
also the league. I mean, the scoring was much lower.
So that's why I want to compare him to someone in the league this year. And one number will jump out to you. Steph this year, look at that bottom number. So that's amazing. So that is, and
I know that's a number, but I'm like,
I mean, nobody's going to say
crazy.
I know you're not saying he's a better
shooter. I just don't believe that.
No,
Steph, right?
Okay, no.
He's not
Steph is taking harder threes, and Steph is taking
twice as many.
Of course, I get all of that, and I think everyone knows that. But that is the numbers, and so that is the Lakers' hope, is that LeBron keeps up this post-All-Star level, which from an efficiency standpoint goes eye to eye with almost any year of his career.
What LeBron has done is efficiency is different nowadays. Everybody's shooting over 50%, really.
Well,
I mean, like you 45. Look at teams, but bigger men.
Okay, yeah.
I mean, look at Durant. The efficiencies are ridiculous because the defense is not what it used to be. But he's playing great, and he's adjusted to the game because now he's shooting the 3 better than ever. I mean, can you imagine if he shot the 3 like this, like in his prime?
Oh, when he was prime
crazy.
athleticism?
Right. So he's shooting the 3
like
better.
the all-time leading scorer.
He's shooting the 3 better, And
crazy.
he's driving more. Like,
Yeah.
he's taking the shots that are more efficient in the paint and threes.
Mm-hmm.
All right, now he's hitting some mid-range jumpers too, but he's driving to the paint. There's not as much resistance as there was early in his career at the paint. So he's doing well with that. The question of can he keep it up is, my concern is, especially if they're in the play-in. I mean, the playoffs, sometimes you get 1 day rest. And LeBron, as I said last week, he's had like every 5, 6, 7 games or so, he's had to sit a game off. Now, I don't think he'll sit a game in the playoffs, but if it limits his effectiveness, you know, he's playing, but he's not what they need him to be. As great as LeBron is playing, and I agree, they need that if they're going to have a chance to get to the conference finals or the NBA finals, it's still on AD. LeBron can play this well, and if AD doesn't play great, they're not going to go that far. But AD has got to step up and give LeBron the support.
Yeah, good job. Is Caleb set up to succeed?
Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get more from the show and to check out clips from other shows on FS1.